it is possible for all of us to be instruments of peace. That is, you and I can become the person who could go between two conflicting people or two people who are struggling with unforgiveness in order to reconcile them together. Hello, this is Father Sunny and welcome to another Dose of Holy. I think for the first time in this entire Dose of Holy, I actually am wearing my priestly garbs for the first time. So this is definitely a momentous occasion right now. I just finished the Mass for the Immaculate Conception, and that's part of the reason why I'm still on my on my alb and my cassock. But it's good to be with you today, continuing with this series on forgiveness. And we are now on episode number 7. And this episode is about how God calls us to be ambassadors of forgiveness. Consider yourself an instrument. And I think in the spirit of St. Francis of Assisi, it is possible for all of us to be instruments of peace. That is, you and I can become the person who could go between two conflicting people or two people who are struggling with unforgiveness in order to reconcile them together. And I think it is one of the holy become a spokesperson for some other friends of mine or whatever. And sometimes it requires that there is somebody who does look at the whole situation from an objective point of view and provide perspectives in the midst of the conflicting positions of two or more people. Someone has to go above the perspectives of the people who are involved in the conflict or the struggle for forgiveness, and the person who is able to rise above and see a bird's eye view of what's going on is the one who is being called to become an ambassador for the forgiveness and reconciliation of people concerned. So I think it happens, that the priest becomes sometimes the one who has to be called in to look at a higher level of perspective on what is really going on from among people. And sometimes, for example, I get called in as a priest to help out resolve the conflict of a family, for example, who are getting at it and are not able to resolve their own conflict. And actually, but especially when the situation becomes worse, people sometimes tend to call their priest or their counselor or a respected member of the family to just be the one to kind of review what's going on really among those who are concerned. And it is in a way a blessing to be given the opportunity to become the peacemaker. It is a very special role to be a peacemaker, to be the instrument for peace and reconciliation among family, among friends, whatever relationship there is, and provide a new beginning for the family. And it's very, very tricky because the ambassador of forgiveness has to be able to speak not only on behalf of one of the parties concerned, but really, for the most part, to speak on behalf of God, to speak on behalf of the wisdom of God. And so the ambassador needs to be prepared. The ambassador needs to really have a healthy mind. The ambassador at least needs to have some kind of an intuition to the Holy Spirit in order to help make better a situation of unforgiveness. So that is why it is important for you and for me, especially as Christians, to always try our very best to remain in the Spirit of God, to remain always in tune with the wisdom of God that sometimes is proclaimed through scriptures, through preaching, through the teachings of the church fathers or the bishops or whatever. So sometimes there are certain things we need to really dispose ourselves toward in order that we can grow in that spirit of openness and awareness of the wisdom of God that can help heal a situation. So and once you find yourself being that person, you start itching and going like, I think God is asking me to do something about it. Please Don't be afraid to go in between. Don't be afraid to be the one to say, "Hi, I am feeling called to step in and talk to you both and see what can be done." Um, and in situations like this, it's very important that the ambassador does not force the issue, because sometimes people just really cannot get to that point where they can even begin talking. So the ambassador sometimes has to provide maybe perhaps a neutral ground for that communication to happen. Sometimes it even requires that you deal with the individual people first and talk to them individually first before you have them go together and in a space of peace and reconciliation. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, especially when it comes to these kinds of things. An ambassadorship of reconciliation therefore requires so much. And so we need to really have the strength that comes from the Holy Spirit, the grace that comes from God, in order to be able to really do the work of ambassadorship. So, you and I, when the opportunity to become an ambassador knocks at our doors, please take it. Please take the courage and trust in God that you're being called out. And who knows that by doing this, you might become a witness of some amazing things that could happen in the lives of people that also hopefully you care about. And finally, finally, I just want to say that that the ambassador becomes an image of the Lord, becomes an image of God to those people that need reconciliation. So bear God, be the Christopher, be the Christ bearer, to bring peace and harmony to both broken relationships. And all of us have the ability to be able to do this. So take your spot, be an ambassador for peace and reconciliation. And God bless you this evening. God bless you today and always with a happy, holy, and healthy life. My name is Father Sunny for this another dose of Holy. Until next time. Bye.